I thought you lot were only after one thing.
We are. And we don't have to kill to get it.
It's synthetic.
They want your husband to perfect it.
Maybe they do want peace.
How long has her husband been dead?
6 years.
They can regenerate. We just don't know how.
Robert never stopped loving you.
We should keep an open mind.
That's the most dangerous thing we can do.
They have a way of finding out what you want. Or who.
That's a type of leukemia, isn't it?
It is treatable.
What are my chances?
So what about this journalist?
You're not jealous, are you?
You're stupid.
Would it be that stupid?
It's on the house. Still warm. Can't tempt you? Or you're just not hungry?
When I am, you'll be the first to know.
There's only one vessel they'll drink from.
Then why do you think they're researching synthetic blood?
They'll never give us up.
What's he doing? You know the rules, sit down. Oh, great. Now he's on dirty protest. Next time you open a vein.
Michael. This is Jacob. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Sunset is at 8:30, Hammersmith Bridge, North. Kirsty sends her regards.
I said stay away from the windows. Kirsty, there's no way he'll track you here. When I hide someone, they stay hidden.
You're an expert at this then, are you?
Of course. When you're onto a hot story, you've got to keep it in a safe place.
Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
Look, we're going to work this out.
We don't even know why he's doing this. Who he's working for, why they're killing people.
Are you sure he's going to pull the trigger?
He looked at me like I was nothing. Like I was someone else.
What's the deal with fingerprinting?
Ink is like any other medium. It doesn't record. We've got an artist working on it, but it'll take some time.
Assuming he doesn't predate fingerprinting.
No, he's got a scar which puts him squarely in the last 10 to 15 years. Until I can examine him physically, I can't say for sure, but from the shape and location, I'd say it's a thyroidectomy.
Not a lot to run with.
Some surgeons do leave signatures, I'm told. But apparently we need a full autopsy for that. In the meantime, we need to get onto hospitals, medical schools.
Autopsy?
I think you'll find autopsy is the correct term for dissecting dead tissue.
Where do we kick off?
Oh, we'll split up, shall we? Cover more ground, yeah?
Sure.
Good.
It's a new way of getting me to take my medication.
And cheat you out of martyrdom, heaven forbid. How much pain are you in?
Angela, I'll take the drugs once this case is put to bed. I need to operate on full faculties for just a bit longer.
Fine. Just remember, pain affects judgment. And people who want quick answers tend to cut corners.
I'm going to have to start charging you by the hour. Are you sure she's being held? Kirsty and Jacob were a team last time I looked. In fact, didn't we decide they were an item?
She doesn't know what he is.
What are you dealing, Mike? To really help you, I need to know now.
You'd have to see it for yourself. I hope you never do.
You have everything you need?
I'm a little starved of intellectual stimulation.
Perhaps we could talk about your travels. I've never been to South America.
You should. Take a look at what's left of the rainforest. See who the real parasites are.
I thought you were beyond nature. Why should you care about what happens to the planet?
We're all part of the same ecosystem, like it or not.
Ecosystem? You mean food chain?
Doesn't have to stay that way.
Right, that's his desk.
As was. Lose yourself all your bill.
When did you let him go?
March, and it was mutual. Said he wanted time off for his book research. He was barely filing anything in the last 6 months, just poncing the facilities. Good luck, by the way. He wiped everything.
Oh, shit. Okay, just keep typing your work here.
You see, we're a team, like it or not, and if we'd stuck together, we would have been in half the time.
Yeah, what brought you here?
Not the same as you, I expect. Jacob Keno. He's been sniffing around Westminster Hospital asking about cancer patients. Thyroid cancer. Have you spoken to his boss?
Oh, go ahead. I'm just pulling his files.
Okay.
One of yours?
Yep.
The army guy.
Uh-huh.
You really think man is capable of making himself extinct?
Some of the fires in Brazil have been burning for over 10 years. You talk about reducing emissions in 20, 30 years. You live for the moment. For us, 50 years is tomorrow.
And that's why you're developing synthetic blood. Emergency stockpiles.
That was the initial motivation, yes, but now we're moving into a new era. If we're successful, there'll be no more need for conflict. You'll be able to retire.
Really?
How will you justify a policy of extermination if we pose no threat?
You exist.
We're irredeemable then.
You renounced your humanity. It's a little late to be crying foul.
I took that decision to help humanity.
You crossed over to save yourself.
What makes you say that?
You had cancer. You couldn't face death. You wanted to carry on.
This is me we're talking about?
Here we are. It's not that easy to really wipe data. Where do you want them?
Just keep hold of them. I'll call you when I've got rid of him. Nothing. It's all cleared out.
I have an excellent prognosis, you'll be glad to hear.
What would you call excellent? How many years would that be?
You're wasting your time.
No. That's one of the benefits of immortality. Only you can waste time.
Immortality? Without God, that's just another word for hell.
Ah, God. I wondered how long it would be before we got round to him. Can I ask, since we seem to be sharing a moment of intimacy, how did he reveal himself to you? Was it through us? We drove you into the priesthood, didn't we? But tell me, in all the years that you've been inside, have you seen any other sign of God, or is it still just us? You're in something of a logical trap, my friend. You don't understand us, so we must be evil. If there's evil, there must be God. But if we're not evil, where does that leave you?
Anything?
Just parables. Time we got some facts.
So did Jacob get a name on John Doe?
I'd say that's why they took him. Got a bit too close to whatever they're up to.
Well, how do you know he's been taken?
Usual story. Started doing nights a couple of weeks back and now he's gone AWOL.
Right. But listen, I thought I'd check out a couple more hospitals. Okay?
She a friend of yours?
Who?
Upstairs.
No, why?
Dunno. Body language. Hospital's a waste of time. Jacob's our lead now. I say we take his place.
Okay.
You all right, mate?
Yeah. Fine.
You never smell of anything. When did you find the time to take a shower?
You're beautiful.
Remind me how we get out of this.
Negotiation.
We don't have anything that he wants. What is it that you're not telling me?
Do you trust me?
I trusted Jack. And Michael.
Yeah, I know, but do you trust me? Yeah, don't blame you. Look, there's something I have to do, and then I'll be straight back. You stay here. I promise.
Mike. He's got a file on you. Don't panic, it's all old stuff. Doesn't look like he's got an address. Any idea what put him onto you?
No.
Where is this?
Indonesia, last year. 5 million acres.
Yeah, we also found tapes of Brazil, Papua New Guinea. Same spec.
So, we're to believe John Doe was some kind of environmentalist?
Well, you got the big Rio conference in '92. Everyone who's green was there.
And our man came in from Brazil.
Check out the delegates.
okay? You passed out in the basement. What were you doing down there?
Where is he?
He's around. He just asked me to drop in on you. Thought you might freak out if you came around on your own. What made you pass out like that? Look, I don't mind him hiding out here if he's in trouble, but I can't have people wandering around, tripping the alarms. You gonna stay put now? Yeah, I'll go and find him. Seems fine, doesn't he? We don't take much. Doesn't hurt. And you don't remember? Kirsty, if I was going to, I'd have done it by now.
What do you want?
Look, what I don't want is for you to have a heart attack. If you're that terrified, you might as well go. I'm not going to come after you. You can go and never hear from me again. Just like Jack. That's why Michael killed him.
When can I expect the knife?
That depends on you.
Don't pretend this is a reluctant pleasure. Is this the treatment your husband can expect? You seem to think that we're the ones who change after death. I wonder what happened to the person your husband described to me. He's not the one who's lost his humanity. I understand why you've become this person. You don't want his life back. You want your own. You won't find any answers in there.
Who did this to you?
No one crosses over who doesn't want to.
Why?
I wanted to know. I love it. It's the same, only better. I've never felt more alive.
You're not the same. You can't be.
So Michael was right to kill your husband? Good, you can go home. Sorted. Jack always loved you.
No. Not if you chose this.
He'd have told you everything if he'd had the chance.
And then what? Was I supposed to go with him?
Yeah. Yeah, if you loved him enough. But you'll never know. Because Michael took that choice away for no better reason than we scare him. You scared him. He was going to do the same to you just because he thought you'd changed. If he can't tell the difference, and you can't tell the difference, are we really that different?
Come in. How's the patient?
Still dead. What can I say? He has no temperature, or rather his ambient temperature. No respiration, no heartbeat. I think he's fading.
They can't die.
He's asked for you. I wouldn't advise it. You need to be on top form to deal with their mind games.
What happened to him?
He was sent in to cover the cleanup. The sarcophagus they built to keep in the fallout. He went closer in than any of the other crews and paid the price.
Radiation poisoning.
He contracted thyroid cancer. Secondary tumours. Disappeared. That was 5 years ago. He's long dead. I don't see how this brings us any closer to Jacob.
It doesn't. And our time's up.
You wanted to speak to me?
I wanted to see you.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Would you deny a last request?
I didn't know immortals could have last requests.
Can you take that risk? A full confession. Only you. No guards.
I want to know she's okay. Kirsty?
Ask her if she wants to be rescued.
Listen, Jacob is not what you think. Look, whatever you are, just get out.
I know what he is. I know what Jack was and what you did to him. You were going to do the same to me. People don't just stop being people, Michael. You murdered him.
So what's to stop me?
I like Kirsty. I've never hurt her. But it's not up to me.
I'd forgotten what it's like to see myself.
I don't see a resemblance.
I was dying once. Come closer.
You lot really know how to make black white, don't you?
Logical argument. Ethics. You should try it.
What? If I don't do what you want, you'll kill her?
And then we'll do worse than that. It's a just war. Ask your priest.
Your man's in maximum security. I can't spring him.
We don't want him. We want Robert March.
Who?
Now, I'm sure you know all about Angie's husband.
He's a pile of ashes, don't you know that?
Shouldn't be too difficult getting him out, then.
What do you want to know?
Why did you cross over?
To save my soul. You see, when a human dies, the soul dies too. We are the source of all religions. We are the afterlife. There's nothing else.
Think about it. Your friends don't want us to develop synthetic blood. No, organizations like yours never want to resolve conflicts. They just want them to carry on. And they do that by demonizing the other side. It takes someone with imagination to put a stop to war. A politician, not a soldier. Michael, we've had our eye on you from the start. Because we think you might just have it in you. Angie wants him back as much as we do. You'd be doing her a favor. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is all for Kirsty. For what it's worth, I believe Kirsty really does care about you. She couldn't hate you so much otherwise. You could make her understand about Jack. And who knows, she might even like the idea of you killing for her.
You dismissed the security detail. You were in there for 45 minutes alone.
Do you want to check me for marks?
You had no right.
Will that be all?
Was it worth it? What is this? The seal of the confessional?
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
And don't give me no doctor-patient crap.
His decision, not mine.
It's terminal, isn't it?
It's treatable. There's no panic.
But he isn't taking it, though, is he?
There are side effects. He wants to finish the case first.
Yeah, well, maybe he thinks he doesn't need it.
He's got no choice, I'm afraid.
I don't know if he'd agree with you on that one.
He wants this in exchange for Kirsty.
Yeah. You happy now?
I want to know what this is used for.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Not good enough, Mike. I need to know what I'm helping you do.
Save a life.
Well, that's the problem. I don't know what you think she's worth. I'm not in love with her.
Jesus! Just help me.
No. There's a lot I'll do for you, Mike, but there are limits. You can stay here till tonight. Leave the keys. I don't want to see you after that.
I'm here for a confession. Get to it. Why did you cross over? What would I be losing if I crossed over?
Of course they'd like to headhunt him. Didn't it occur to you Pierce might be using that? He's been fighting them longer than both of us put together.
And now he's fighting cancer. Why hasn't he clued us in? If he's getting all these amazing insights, it'd be nice if he shared them around a bit.
Is there much more?
You've heard the best part.
You talked about poison. Is that how you see it? Why poison? It's nothing personal. Did you find anything to impeach me on?
I'm sure if there was anything you thought was useful, you'd have passed it on. However, the fact is there may have been some things the significance of which escaped you.
It was the usual mishmash of truth and lies, mixed with an amount of baiting. I've got better things to do than type it up.
He talked about poison. You picked him up on it. I told him I had to.
Fine. He was talking about my cancer. As I say, a typical wind-up.
But why use that particular word? Why poison?
What's on your mind?
I think he was talking about himself.
So, he had cancer.
Thyroid cancer is a classic symptom of radiation poisoning. We should be looking at the nuclear industry, not just the hospitals.
What does it feel like not to be able to see yourself?
The first time when I looked in the mirror and there was no one else. You can't imagine how real that makes you feel. It's an incredible sense of self. And it works both ways. When I'm this close to you and I look in your eyes, I can't see myself. It's only you.
I want to come with you tonight. I need to see him.
Why? You'll only upset yourself. He's too far gone.
He said he'd bring the man that you want in exchange for me. But he tried to kill me.
You got to understand the mindset. In his eyes, there are two Kirstys. If you're human, he wants to protect you. But if you're the wrong one, you don't deserve to live.
But you have killed people.
There's a war on. We don't want land. We don't want power. We don't ask for much. Is it so much?
Thanks for clearing your schedule.
No problem. So few people want to talk about Chernobyl these days. It's our biggest problem, attention span. People seem to think it's going to go away.
We're interested in one of your researchers. He went there to cover the cleanup.
Paul Hoyle, yes. It cost him his life. Iodine 131 fallout. It's a short-lived isotope, but medically extremely hazardous. He developed thyroid cancer in a matter of months.
What was his background before he came here?
He was a nuclear scientist. He worked at Sellafield. Converts always make the best radicals.
Have you kept any details of his work?
Hasn't the government left it a bit late to start a file on him?
We're not the government.
That's not what your colleague said. I thought she'd be with you.
T branch, may I? And who do you report to exactly?
Would you come with us, please?
I think a phone call will sort this out.
Yeah, come on.
This is what Hoyle was working on when he left Sellafield. This is what pushed him into environmental activism.
Nuclear winter?
It can happen any number of ways. A meteorite strike, volcanic activity, a nuclear blast. Enough dust is propelled into the atmosphere, high enough to circle the globe and blot out the sun for up to 12 months.
The fires are just a dry run.
Synthetic blood isn't about peace. It's about war.
We want to help Michael just as much as you do. It's very important we know what he's been asked to do. I think you're every bit as concerned as we are. He hasn't told you everything, has he? Is that why you were doing research of your own? Paul Hoyle is involved in something much worse than nuclear pollution. Can you be sure it's safe to keep silent?
It's a chemical.
He's been in the inventory and the security protocols.
Shit. You have to tell us where he is.
Why? What is it?
You're going to have faith.
I know Mike. I don't know you.
This is Paul Hoyle, the man you've been researching? The man who died 5 years ago?
Yes, Paul, we know all about your contribution to the cause.
Jumping ships twice? Never a good idea.
Thank you for your interest. I'm spoken for.
He's on his own. He didn't bring him.
Why are they so hung up about getting him back? He can't be the only scientist with the know-how.
There was no one like him. There still isn't.
You can drop him now.
Wait.
What for?
Losing the target.
We take Michael.
Wait. That's an order.
When are you going to tell her the truth?
You killed him, that's the truth.
He was going to come after you.
And maybe I would have liked him too. You ever think of that?
It's enough. That's it.
This isn't the lab, Angie. We can't control what happens out here.
Wait.
Where's Pierce?
What's that?
Tell her, Michael. It is peace they're after, Michael. Final peace. That's why they've been cherry-picking scientists for the last 10 years. Just like America did with the Manhattan Project. It's a nuclear winter, Michael. No daylight for 12 months. Enough time to take over. And once they've got power, they're going to exterminate us. That's why they want synthetic blood, not an alternative, a substitute.
Michael, you are listening to the sick Cold War fantasies of a dying man.
You've seen the evidence. The obsession with blood pollution. Their environment. Mass infection to ease the takeover, genetic engineering to replace recruitment. It's their Eden, Michael. We're not invited.
I think Michael has his own fantasies to worry about.
Stop!
I've got him.
Not yet.
Angie, come on. Call it.
Do it.
Shit.
It's what you wanted.
Mike, you've aged. What's occurring?
Jack.
What's this? Visiting hours? Get a life.
Leave him. Jack's not important. We've learned how they regenerate. They've got their extermination program. It's time we followed suit. Are you in or out?
Are you going to trust him again? What about her?
It was good advice. Let him go.
You can go now.
Aren't you worried about me going to the papers?
With what?
Did you think bringing him back would teach me a lesson? Why did you do it?
I tried everything else.
Seems like I owe you one. Don't worry, I'll leave her alone. Well, let's keep in touch, yeah?